And we're live. Good evening. What's up, Dodger fans? We were not expecting to go live tonight. We actually had a show planned for tomorrow. We were going to talk about Juan Soto, maybe some of the latest Dodgers rumors and updates, some Thanksgiving takes. And don't worry, that show with Jake Reiner is still planning to happen. Jake's out tonight. He is celebrating a dating anniversary. So, congratulations to Jake Reiner. Go do your thing, buddy. But Kevin is here, and I was just casually hanging out. It might have even been halftime, and then the Dodgers Discord chat blows up my phone. So credit to, I think, Django out there who got it first. Blake Snell announcing on his Instagram, unofficially at first, with some eyes of him in a Photoshop Dodger uniform. Looks like he'll be wearing number 7. Good number to choose. And I thought that was it. Some people were like, is Blake Snell trolling us? But I was like, no, Blake Snell's definitely not trolling us. He's pulling the Shohei Ohtani, and it's a slam dunk. It's official. Dodgers are in agreement with Blake Snell, the biggest free agent pitcher out there this offseason. The first time they've struck a big deal with a Scott Boras client since maybe Hyun-Jin Ryu in the 2012 offseason. Finally, Scott Boras, Blake Snell, and the Dodgers are able to come to an agreement, and we'll get to the terms and all of that in just a minute or so. Want to give a shout out to the listeners. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button, drop some questions. Give me your reaction to how you feel about Blake Snell coming to the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is the Incline Dodgers podcast presented by TickPick and Fansided. This is your host, Kevin Klein, speaking. And I want to thank all the viewers and listeners for tuning in. This is a big announcement, unexpected, but expected at the same time, just maybe not tonight. I thought maybe the moves would come after Thanksgiving, but not to toot my own horn or kind of brag here, but I got to say, of all the Dodgers podcasts out there, nobody was on it more than me. Nobody was more consistent. Nobody called their shot more accurate than I did with Blake Snell coming to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I even said this signing would happen, I think, before December 8th. I said multiple times, Blake Snell is not going to want to have a repeat of what happened a year ago where he couldn't get the deal he wanted, and he'd have to wait all the way into March when spring training is done and then miss a month of the season and basically be off in the first half. It was not going to be like that again. Blake Snell wanted to get that contract done, and it was so obvious that the Los Angeles Dodgers were going to make it happen. No qualifying offer. The Dodgers won't be penalized for signing Blake Snell. That means they won't lose draft picks. They won't get penalized with the international signing bonus pool. This is just straight up Blake Snell. You're a Dodger. No penalties, nothing to worry about. Just the CBD tax threshold. But that's all good because the Dodgers have plenty of money. And now you add a huge arm to the Dodgers starting rotation. So let's get into the terms real quick. A lot of reporters were on this. We'll start with Mark Feinsand, who I believe was the first to confirm that Blake Snell was coming to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Blake Snell's deal is a 5-year contract, $182 million. So a little bit longer than I was anticipating, but around the same AAV that I was projecting. I thought Blake Snell was going to be $35 to $38 million a year easily, and Blake Snell is about $36 million a year. And this is a 5-year contract. Not bad. So he's 32 right now. They'll take him to his age 37, 38, whatever it is season. Dodgers can live with that. What the Dodgers just signed right now is a fortified front of the line pitching arm that has 2 Cy Youngs to his name. And better yet, he's a left-handed pitcher. So he adds diversification to the portfolio, a different arm angle that will come at hitters. And instead of throwing all righties out there now, you get Blake Snell in the rotation, one of the best lefties over the last decade. He's got 2 Cy Youngs, and now he's joining the evil empire, Los Angeles Dodgers. There are some deferrals in this contract. Jack Harris was on it with the deferrals. Believe it's $52 million in deferrals, or sorry, $52 million signing bonus and some deferred money. So we don't have the deferred money yet, I don't think. but he gets a $52 million signing bonus right out of the gate. This is a pretty nice payday for Blake Snell. I think this is exactly what he was looking for in terms of the contract value. It aligns perfectly with the type of caliber arm that is Blake Snell. So I misspoke. We don't know the exact deferred money, but there is a $52 million signing bonus, and that's from Jack Harris, who covers the Dodgers for the LA Times. Um, so back to some other reports with Mark Feinstein. He said the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Baltimore Orioles were all in on Blake Snell before he signed with the Dodgers. It probably takes the Dodgers out of the market now for arms like Corbin Burns, Max Fried, and Jack Flaherty. So the teams that came up short for Blake Snell, expect those guys to be very aggressive. We've been hearing that the Red Sox really want a front of the line starting pitcher. And we had heard just the other day they had met with Blake Snell. So I expect them to pivot to Max Fried or Corbin Burns, but we're not shocked that Blake Snell was able to get a deal done with the Dodgers. We talked about just the other day that Blake Snell and the Dodgers had met and that they had a meeting. And from all indications, the Dodgers have been going after Blake Snell. As I've said on the show a couple times now, they've gone after Blake Snell multiple times in the past. They met with him an offseason ago, but the Dodgers felt that the contract demands from Blake Snell's camp were too high. So they went the other way, and he ended up signing with the Giants for a far less contract that he was looking for. And then when the Giants were asked, as usual as they are these days, and the Giants were sellers at the deadline, the Dodgers put in a pretty competitive bid to try to trade for Blake Snell before the trade deadline. But Farhan Zaidi decided he'd rather get fired and set up no future for the Giants than to try to get a good prospect haul from the Dodgers. Because let's be real, Farhan was a failure in San Francisco. Outside of 2021, he didn't do anything for that organization. So he fell on a sword. The Giants are going nowhere. Now they've got Buster Posey running the show. And instead of the Giants, because the Dodgers ended up winning the World Series anyways, so it's not like it would have made a difference. They didn't stop the Dodgers from winning the World Series. Now they lost Blake Snell to the Dodgers, and they don't get any of the Dodgers' top prospects. So who looks like the genius now? Definitely not San Francisco. So I'm ecstatic. And just posting to X real quick that we're talking Blake Snell to get more viewers in here. Make sure no one's missing this. And I want to get to the chat right now, read some of your guys' questions. I am absolutely ecstatic. This was the guy I wanted all offseason long. I felt like he was at the top of the Dodgers drawing board. He was at the top of my drawing board. And it's official. We've got Blake Snell in the Los Angeles Dodgers uniform. So we'll talk about the rotation, how that looks, but let's get to some shout outs right now. What's up, Brandon Colston, Craig Osterberg, Frank, what's up? Daniel Berry Sports Highlight, thank you for tuning in. MWG, Snellzilla, Javier T. He literally said, if you can't beat them, join them. Kind of true, but also kind of not true because Blake Snell owned the Dodgers. So I kind of am glad that Blake Snell's not going to a very competitive team like the Yankees or back to the Padres. Instead of him going to a very fierce competitor, now he's on our side. So we've got the Dodgers kryptonite embedded into the Dodgers rotation. If you really think about that, sometimes your top enemies, it's better to have them on your side than against you. And Blake Snell was exactly that. So now he's pitching for the Dodgers. Jay Smooth 23, fire take on the signing of Blake Snell. Thank you. Let's see what else we've got. Carol S. Hope we can still re-sign Walker Buehler. I think some of that will depend on what happens with Roki Sasaki. What's up, BC, for tuning in? Maria G, thank you. Dennis Gonzalez, what's up? Showtime Dodgers. Are we out on Juan Soto? We'll talk about Juan Soto maybe in a little bit. I don't think Juan Soto and Blake Snell are necessarily correlated with one another. I think the pitching and the hitting are two different aspects of the Dodgers' offseason involvement and goals, but it definitely is going to make a big difference in terms of where the Dodgers go now with the rest of their pitching focus, because signing Blake Snell was obviously at the top of their wish list. And so that immediately probably puts them out of Corbin Burns, Max Fried, Jack Flaherty. I think Walker Buehler is still in it, but the big arms out there, no, it's not there. What's up, Adrian Gonzalez? I don't know if you're the Adrian Gonzalez that played for the Dodgers, but yes, Jeff Passan and Jorge Castillo also confirmed it was done. Nicholas Dugan, Dodgers could still sign Corbin Burns. No, I don't think they're going to sign Corbin Burns. I think they're done with that. So speaking of how the Dodgers rotation is going to look now, so let's look ahead to the 2025 starting rotation for the Dodgers. We know they're going with a six-man rotation. Now it's a matter of who are going to be the six arms in the Dodgers rotation. Even though Tyler Glasnow is having the time of his life, I think on an African safari right now, living the real life Lion King, he appears to be healthy. So we've got Tyler Glasnow in there. That's one starter. Tony Gonsolin is healthy and he's currently employed by the Dodgers. He will be in the Dodgers six-man rotation, assuming he's rostered. You've got Gonsolin, Glasnow, of course, Blake Snell. That's three arms. Theoretically, Landon Knack could be in the mix for a Dodgers starting job. Dustin May should be healthy. I don't know yet what the role for Dustin May is going to be. Gavin Stone's injured. Shohei Ohtani's not going to be ready out of the gate. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the Dodgers ace. So we've got for sure four starters that we are confident in being a part of the Dodgers rotation. Now it's just a matter of who are going to be those other arms. Is it going to be Landon Knack? Does Bobby Miller turn it around and turn himself back into a bona fide starter like he was in 2023 when he was an outstanding rookie for the Dodgers? I sure hope so, because it'd be nice to have Bobby Miller. If the Dodgers get Roki Sasaki, you can pencil him into the Dodgers rotation. Clayton Kershaw should be re-signed at some point, but odds are he won't be healthy for opening day. Nick Frasso is another intriguing arm for the Dodgers. He was a top prospect, currently missed all of 2024 with the shoulder injury. Hopefully he's healthy and good to go for opening day. But as things stand right now, I would say there's two openings in the Dodgers rotation. That could quickly change if they bring back Walker Buehler, sign Roki Sasaki, or they take a flyer on another arm that's looking to maybe reignite his career. So I think the Dodgers have four slam dunk arms right now. It's just a question of who else the Dodgers are going to bring back and who can take the next leap and be in that rotation. So Bob Nightingale just dropped an X post right now. He says the Red Sox were heavily in on Blake Snell, as we know. Now they're focusing on Max Fried. So anybody that wanted Max Fried to join the Dodgers, anyone that wanted Max Fried over Blake Snell, to be honest, I never understood the logic there. Blake Snell is a far superior pitcher than Max Fried, and the upside with the swing and miss stuff is heavily in Blake Snell's favor. He's a much better pitcher in the postseason, a far superior strikeout machine. And I don't care that Max Fried grew up in preppy little Santa Monica. Blake Snell is a gamer, and this guy wants to win. And he joined the best place to be right now in Major League Baseball. So it's just an incredible signing by the Dodgers. Andrew Friedman continues to do it offseason after offseason. And this is another big cat. This is an awesome signing for the Dodgers. In 2020, I wanted the Dodgers to get Mookie Betts. Andrew Friedman made it happen. In 2021, I wanted the Dodgers to get Trevor Bauer. It happened, didn't work out, but it was the right move at the right time. In 2022, I wanted the Dodgers to get Freddie Freeman. They made it happen. 23, Shohei Ohtani. Everyone wanted that one to happen. And in 2024, I wanted Blake Snell. Done deal. He's coming to the Dodgers now. So get your guys' questions in there. Get your guys' reaction. I will make sure to get to any of your guys' questions you have. And let's have a good night. Let's have a fun show. I'll drop the link to the Discord if you want to talk Dodgers baseball with other awesome Dodger fans. So there's the link. And let's get to some of your guys' comments in the chat right now. We've got Frank saying the Dodgers should trade Bobby Miller. We've got Craig Osterberg saying quality over quantity. Oh, absolutely. Guillermo Medina, Blake Snell wants to win a ring or 5. He's got an opportunity to win 5 rings because it is a 5-year contract with the Dodgers. Maria G, that's going to be some interesting clubhouse dynamics. I don't agree with that take. I think Blake Snell is a team player, and I think that he's going to fit in quite handsomely with the Dodgers starting rotation. They've been looking for the heir to the throne to find the next big lefty to replace Clayton Kershaw. And Blake Snell is exactly the perfect mold to fill that void because Kershaw doesn't have many years left and they need a big time lefty and a leader. And Blake Snell's been nothing but a leader, especially in the last few years. I think he's going to fit in and be just a great clubhouse guy. Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell were teammates for that Tampa Bay Rays team when they reached the World Series. If they signed Willie Adames, then you've got even further chemistry because Blake Snell, Willie Adames, and Tyler Glasnow were all Tampa Bay Rays teammates. So I'm not too worried. Dennis Gonzalez, Jared Carabas is already crying out for Max Fried to join the Red Sox. Well, there you go. MWG, the Dodgers dynasty will feed all of us. It's definitely something on our guys' minds. We'll see if the Dodgers can fulfill the prophecy and be the next dynasty. Baseball is a hard sport to repeat. There has not been a World Series repeat since the New York Yankees in the very early 2000s. So the Dodgers have the potential and the talent to definitely be the next dynasty. So we'll see. I mean, this is just a pitcher you got to be excited about. In 2024, Blake Snell had a 3.12 ERA over 20 starts. He still made 20 starts, had a 3.12 ERA, 2.43 FIP, one whip. He was electric. 145 strikeouts over 104 innings thrown. The year before he won the Cy Young, had a 2.25 ERA, 14 wins, WAR over 6. I mean, you look at Blake Snell's baseball savant page, and you're just looking at one of the best pitchers out there. Like, let's get into it right now. What does Blake Snell's baseball savant page have to offer? Pitching run value, plus 16, a 90 out of 100. Fastball run value, pretty high, plus 5. Breaking run value, 95 out of 100. Some of the best breaking ball pitches in the sport. xERA, 257 xERA. So in a year where Blake Snell had to ramp himself up, was out of shape for a month and a half or so, he still finished the season with a 257 ERA. Expected batting average was well below 200, 178 expected batting average. Guy with insane whiff and K percentage stuff. He's in the 98th out of 100 percentile. Hard hit, 99 out of 100. Four-seam fastball, opponents hit 200 against the four-seamer. Against the curveball, opponents hit 111 against the curveball with a 50% whiff rate. Changeup, 236 with a 47.5 whiff rate. And a slider, 167 batting average, 45% whiff rate. I mean, talk about just dynamite. And then I was just going to look into his velocity because I was kind of curious where we're at with his velocity. 96 miles per hour. His velocity was actually up in 2024 as opposed to 2023. 96 versus 95 and a half. So this is good stuff. I just came out of the theater a couple hours ago, saw Wicked, so kind of have like Wicked in my head right now. But this is a Wicked signing for the Dodgers. So hell yeah, let's go. I like it, Maria G. Padres fans have to be sick. I mean, a guy that won a Cy Young Award for the Padres just a couple years ago. Then the Padres get bounced by the Dodgers in the NLDS. Dodgers go on to win the World Series. And now the Dodgers have the World Series reigning champion prestige next to their uniform, and they'll get the gold jerseys on opening day. And they get a Cy Young winner in Blake Snell. Wow. What a great month stretch it's been for the Dodgers. We win the World Series. Now you've got Blake Snell. Let's go. So go ahead and drop your guys' questions, comments in the chat. Let me know how you feel about Blake Snell. Just kind of curious how other people's kind of gauging this reaction. But I mean, this is huge. Blake Snell to the Dodgers is one of the biggest Andrew Freeman signings in the history of his entire tenure as the Dodgers president of baseball operations. It's not every day he hands out a 5-year, $182 million contract to a pitcher, but we've seen Friedman be pretty aggressive the last couple of years. And when there's someone Andrew Friedman wants, he's going to do everything in his power to bring that guy in. So I'm sure there's some Dodger fans out there that aren't even fired up about Blake Snell. They're just waiting on the Juan Soto news. And I'm sure you have a very good reason to be high on Juan Soto. Dodgers are one of 5 teams to put in an offer on Juan Soto. I don't know if that's going to happen. Seems like the Red Sox and the Mets are pretty aggressive, but tonight it's about Blake Snell. There's just so many players and former players commenting on this right now, like Dallas Braden, for example, former pitcher for the Athletics. What people need to understand about the Dodgers is they have positioned themselves as the premier destination. Ohtani is his own economy. The Dodgers capitalized on that and now are printing money because of it. Players want to win and get paid and get better while doing it. They offer all of that. It's $182 million to Blake Snell, and it feels like the Dodgers haven't even warmed up yet. I mean, this is a someone that's unaffiliated with the Dodgers in all capacity possible. And this is the highest praise you'll see from someone that's not affiliated with the Dodgers organization and actually commending the Dodgers for what they're doing. And he is 100% accurate with everything he said. When the Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani, they didn't just sign Shohei Ohtani himself. They signed the number one attractive recruitment agency in the entire sport because players want to win and players want to team up with Shohei Ohtani. It's almost kind of like when LeBron James joined forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And now it's kind of a similar mindset where players want to join forces with Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani. And can't forget that Freddie Freeman's there. Can't forget Yoshinobu Yamamoto's there. You've got Clayton Kershaw in the clubhouse. Max Muncy's a great clubhouse guy. And the list goes on. And they want to be a part of the franchise that is known for having the best culture. They want to be a part of a team that will consistently get to the playoffs. This team hasn't missed a playoff since 2012. And they want to be a part of an organization where they can get better. And for the most part, this happens. Now, every now and then you get the exceptions like Noah Syndergaard where there's no hope for you. But you take a guy like Michael Kopech in more recent news. You got Anthony Banda. You can go back to Evan Phillips, Brent Honeywell. Dodgers were able to turn around Blake Trinan's career. Dodgers turned Max Muncy, Chris Taylor into all-stars. So the list goes on of the amount of players that the Dodgers touched. And as Noah Syndergaard said, can turn to gold. And Blake Snell is just another example of that. They're going to find a way to get the most out of him. And it's crazy to say that Blake Snell might not even reached his ceiling yet, because I think he has. But the Dodgers will do everything in their power to keep Blake Snell at the top of his game for as long as possible. You got Dan Plesac, who works for MLB Network, saying that the Dodgers strike again. Great move. Locked up Blake Snell on a 5-year, $182 million deal. Big get for the Big Blue. Get him at the prime of his career. Will be in spring training on time and ready to go. Not like last year. Huge get for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I could just have a field day right now of just reading everyone's opinion on the Dodgers signing Blake Snell. But this is just sensational news. And assuming that the Dodgers don't trade Austin Barnes, I'm very curious, and I would love to see the dynamic of Austin Barnes and Blake Snell. Hopefully we get a game where Blake Snell and Austin Barnes are a battery duo. That would be actually kind of hilarious. So I'm rooting for that. I want to see Austin Barnes catch Blake Snell, make it happen, Dodgers. That'll be pretty funny. So go back to your questions and comments right now. Give you guys a shout out as well. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. So Maria G, Padres fans are sick. Dennis Gonzalez, Buster Posey must be flipping out tonight, especially some of the Giants cocky fans that were very adamant that they were going to get Blake Snell back. I don't think Blake Snell liked his time in San Francisco at all. And from what we've kind of heard from former players and leaks within the Giants organization, unlike the Los Angeles Dodgers, the San Francisco Giants have a pretty terrible culture. Maybe not in terms of personalities, but in terms of the way they utilize their players. Um, some players said that the platoons that the Giants were implementing was just too out of hand. Some of the pitchers felt like they should have been starting or going deeper into games, and the Giants were preventing that. And when the Giants players aren't, essentially optimizing their career, it's going to hurt them in free agency. And so I think a lot of players right now are very hesitant to sign with the San Francisco Giants, but not the Dodgers. They want to sign with the Dodgers. So, little update from Mark Feinstein right now. Let's see. Snell's deal contains no opt out clauses and a $52 million signing bonus. There's some money deferred. So, everything we kind of knew about that, but other than no opt outs is certainly interesting. So, he's a Dodger for the next 5 years. More to come if we can get the answer of the deferred money part. We've got Jay Smooth 23. Welcome to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Blake Snell. Welcome to the show, Jay Smooth. Dennis Gonzalez. Dallas Braden knows baseball. Hearst Hill. The Giants have terrible culture. They absolutely do. So let me know what you guys want me to talk about for the next 20 minutes or so. I will continue to talk about Blake Snell. I'm just trying to find more analysis of the Dodgers and Blake Snell. I'll have a field day when I get onto X because it's the I told you so mentality. Like I said, to kind of kick off the show, no other podcast out there was as confident as we were that Blake Snell was going to sign with the Los Angeles Dodgers. This was this pretty much felt like a layup. It would have been a shocker to me if Blake Snell and the Dodgers weren't at least finalist, like final two, because I felt like it was definitely the Dodgers and Blake Snell and maybe one other team that could have put in a competitive deal. But the Dodgers have the West Coast edge over a team like the Boston Red Sox. To me, it feels like Blake Snell is a West Coast guy, grew up in Washington State, played for San Francisco, played for the San Diego Padres. Now he's coming to Los Angeles. So felt like a no-brainer to me. Just the fact that there is no qualifying offer attached to this. And on top of that, the Dodgers have tried to get Blake Snell at least twice in the past. And so it looks like he's going to wear number 7 per his Instagram. So insane get for the Dodgers, just unreal. So I'm very happy with this move. Dodgers rotation was the one thing they needed to really bulk up this offseason, which is funny to say because we felt like they invested a lot into their rotation last season, but there were some injuries and there's definitely some guys in free agency and it's a done deal. Blake Snell is coming to the Dodgers once that pen is signed to the paper. So good shit by the Dodgers. Dennis Gonzalez saying, Kevin, I honestly thought Snell was staying in San Francisco. This is just amazing. Maria G, X baseball is losing their shit. I don't know what X baseball is, but I'm curious what Talking Baseball is saying. I'm sure they're very pissed. I'm sure Padres fans are pissed as well. I'll have to definitely do some diving into the online stratosphere. So I'm excited. It's a huge get for the Dodgers. Yeah, so Talking Baseball kind of put a graphic together. How does the Dodgers rotation look currently? You've got Yamamoto, Ohtani, Snell, Glasnow, and Gonsolin. We know that Ohtani is injured right now, but assuming he's back in the rotation by late April, early May, I mean, this is just, if you can go into the playoffs as is right now with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Ohtani, Snell, and Glasnow in some order, that's a nasty 1-4. And you're not going to have to worry about bullpen games. You're not going to have to worry about punting games. You've got 4 nearly Cy Young caliber pitchers that you've got across the board. And Tyler Glasnow is going to go potentially from the Dodgers number 1 starter from 2024 to the Dodgers number 4 starter in 2025. And for Glasnow, I think this also kind of takes a big load off him. All they need from Tyler Glasnow is for him to stay healthy so that they can actually have this guy pitch in the postseason for the Dodgers. We saw Glasnow when he was at his best, and he was an exceptional pitcher. He was an all-star. He just needs to stay healthy. So that's a huge goal for the Dodgers. He's got to stay healthy. Dale Harris, good for the Dodgers. Now go get Bueller and hopefully Sasaki or Garrett Crochet. I'm glad Dale brought up Garrett Crochet. I'm a big Crochet guy, and I had him as my 1B for the Dodgers to get Garrett Crochet, but you can pretty much squash that now. I can pretty much comfortably say the Dodgers are not going to make a trade for Garrett Crochet, at least this offseason. That doesn't mean that the Dodgers might not revisit it come trade deadline if he's still on the White Sox, if there's an injury or a need for the Dodgers. But I think you can confidently and comfortably say the Dodgers aren't going to have to trade for Garrett Crochet right now. I mean, why would they? They've got a solid 5-man rotation. They're going to probably sign Sasaki or Bueller, like Dale and we've pointed out before. So why would they give up an abundance of prospects for almost a luxury at this point? I know it's silly to say, and we're a big advocate that the Dodgers should have as much starting pitching as possible. I just feel like if the Dodgers are going to bulk up on pitching at this point, then they would take a flyer on someone, kind of like what they did with James Paxton a year ago, and maybe cut him loose in the second half. And let alone they do have a second lefty potentially coming back, which would be Clayton Kershaw if he can get right, stay healthy. And I think the Dodgers are good. So I'm going to say they're done with Crochet. No chance they sign Max Fried. No chance they're going to sign Corbin Burns. The focus after Blake Snell now, it's not going to be Juan Soto. It's going to be prioritizing some bats. So you got to bring back Teoscar Hernandez. That's the other player we've been talking about on the show at nauseum. You got to re-sign Teoscar Hernandez, and then you got to see what you can get from Willy Adames. And if you can get Blake Snell, Teoscar Hernandez, and Willy Adames, and then sure it up with the role players like the Blake Trinan and the Kike Hernandezes, then this is the second best offseason that you'll ever experience as a Los Angeles Dodgers fan, with obviously last year being the best, and you can't top it because you got Shohei Ohtani. But for now, this has been a pretty good start for the Dodgers offseason. I mean, let alone what happens the rest of the way, it's probably an A- no matter what, because they landed Blake Snell, the best current free agent pitcher out there on the market. So as Dodger fans, we've got to be happy and not too greedy. We should be ecstatic that the Dodgers were able to work it out and get Blake Snell to come to the Dodgers. And like Maria G pointed out, Scott Boras apparently will do business with the Dodgers when the price is right. And for once, the price was right. The Dodgers flirted with some Scott Boras guys the last couple of years. They got the JD Martinez signing 2 years ago. They got the James Paxton signing a year ago, and they finally knock it out of the park, and they get Blake Snell on that massive 5 years, $182 million contract. I'm pretty sure from an AAV standpoint, Blake Snell's pitching contract is top 3 now in the sport. I think Garrett Cole could be above him, but Blake Snell is certainly up there. So electric move, fired up, happy that the Dodgers prioritized and got their guy. So huge for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Just gonna see if there's anyone else that has questions or comments. If you got big questions for me, drop them below in the chat. We'll do a full out show tomorrow too. Jake will join me and we'll talk about Dodgers and the Blake Snell news a little bit more into more detail. But this is just a reactionary show for your Los Angeles Dodgers and getting Blake Snell. That's right, Aaron Edick. We did it. We got Blake Snell. We called it on this podcast all off season long. Seeing if there's anything else that we need to cover. But no. For now, I think we got the big stuff. Just some fun stats for you guys. Did you know that Blake Snell's career at Dodger Stadium, he's thrown 31 innings. This is regular season stats, I believe. 31 innings. He has a 2.03 career ERA at Dodger Stadium, 39 strikeouts. I'm also curious how lefties did against Blake Snell last year, so I'm going to see what his splits are. I always love the splits. So let's see as a lefty starter, how dominant Blake Snell was against left-handed hitters. So pulling up his 2024 splits, and let's see what happened. Yeah, I mean, this is better than I thought. Last season, Blake Snell against left-handed batters held the opposition to a 105 batting average, a 467 OPS, and a 30 a 32 S OPS plus, 78 T OPS plus, 143 BABIP, um, just 2 home runs. He allowed 6 home runs in the entirety of the season, but just 2 home runs to left-handed batters. Apparently, he didn't face a lot of left-handed batters, which is kind of confusing to me. Only 67 plate appearances versus 351 right-handed batters, probably because teams stacked up with the platoons, and for good reason, because Blake Snell, as you can see, 105 batting average against lefties is just dominant. And he held his own against righties too. Righties hit 187 against Blake Snell. So he just landed an arm that can get both sides out of the plate. I'm going to go back to the chat, and obviously I'm encouraging you guys to ask me questions. I want to make sure I get to all your guys' questions. So probably we'll do the show for about 10 minutes or so. So make sure any questions you have for me, get them in there and hit that like button. Back to back, Kevin, per Aeronetic. Maria G thinks Teoscar is going to walk. I disagree. Javier T. So what do you think happens with the outfield situation? I'm going to stay consistent. I've been saying this all season long. The Dodgers are going to re-sign Teoscar Hernandez. They'll put him in left field. From what I've been told, the Dodgers and Tommy Edman, the extension is basically done. And so the Dodgers are going to get that extension announced any day with Tommy Edman, and he's going to be their center fielder. And then in right field, it'll be Andy Pages. They're going to give the rope to Andy Pages. He'll get first crack because he deserves it to be the Dodgers right fielder. And I'm pretty sure that'll be their outfield alignment. So I think that's the next domino to fall. I am very surprised that the Dodgers got this deal done before Thanksgiving. I thought maybe we'd get it right before the winter meetings. So they're going to have something to chat about now at the winter meetings. Teams are going to be nervous as freaking F, knowing that the Dodgers got Blake Snell, and they're going to have to respond. So a team like the Phillies, I don't know if they're going to trade Nick Castellanos now, because you kind of need him to face Blake Snell. Looks like we got some more breaking news, so we'll see if it's anything relevant from Alden Gonzalez regarding the Blake Snell stuff. We'll get that to a second. George Mendoza, shout out from a lifelong Dodgers fan in Chico, California. What's up, George? Thank you for tuning in. Dennis Gonzalez, what's the word on Willy Adames? I don't think Willy Adames has been aggressively meeting with teams yet. It sounds like the Astros are in on Adames. The Red Sox might be in on Adames. The Dodgers are certainly interested in Willy Adames. I think this is one of those dominoes that will fall after we get the Juan Soto news. And once Juan Soto is off the board, the Anthony Santanders, the Teoscar Hernandezes, and the Willy Adames will find their new homes probably before the year end. So yeah, Alden Gonzalez says some details on the Blake Snell deal, $52 million signing bonus, limited, no trade clause, no opt-outs, some deferred money. So nothing new there. Thanks a lot, Alden. But I think we've kind of got a good idea now of what to expect from the Dodgers contract with Blake Snell. I'm guessing it's going to be front loaded, but the Dodgers have found a way to make these deals very team friendly. So we'll see. Just remarkable, man. I don't know why this is relevant for John Heyman says big signing bonus works for Snell as well, who lives in Washington State, which has no state tax. Really don't know how that works because he's going to be a Los Angeles resident now. And I'll definitely reach out to Blake Snell, see if I can get him on the show. I doubt it will happen. But we got to help find Blake Snell a home. I'm sure he's going to be a part of the Dodgers group chat, and they'll have some recommendations for him. But Blake Snell's about to be a Los Angeles resident, so maybe we'll run into him. I know he's a big gamer. I don't tune into those Twitch streams. Not really my cup of tea. But yeah, Blake Snell's coming to California. So just seeing if there's anything else worth covering, but I think we've got it all. So the signing bonus makes the present value deal still high, even with deferrals. AAV 36.4 million. CBT figure expected to be around 32 to 33 million. So 32 to 33 million dollars is exactly what the CBT hit will be for the Dodgers. You've got Angels fans apparently pissed now. They need to create a salary. They want a salary cap. So a bunch of crybabies. Why does your team do better? It's an even playing field. Why can't your team recruit these guys? So quit putting down the Dodgers. I'm sick of these fan bases just being little babies. Credit to TJ Stats, Thomas Nestico. So he kind of breaks down what the stuff looked like from Blake Snell's arsenal last season, and it's all above average stuff. The fastball is elite. It's actually his best stuff-wise pitch, 65 grade. Curveball got a 103, 56 grade. Changeup, 61 grade. And the nasty slider. So everything that Blake Snell just throws is filthy. Aeronetics pumped for spring training. Ocean View Coffee Shop says we have got a nasty rotation. And Aeronetic Freeman isn't done yet. And Ocean View Coffee Shop. Dodgers are the face of American sports worldwide. There is going to be a great possibility that the Dodgers, if they haven't already, are going to pass the Los Angeles Lakers as the big darling of Los Angeles sports. They continue to do everything right. They've got the best executive probably in all of professional sports. They've got a manager that we can't criticize now because he won a World Series, his second World Series with the Dodgers. He's helped take the Dodgers to 4 World Series. He creates the most positive clubhouse dynamic maybe in all professional sports. And you've got the best superstars. You got the biggest brand icon of Japan. You've got Mookie Betts, who's a proven winner. I mean, unbelievable what the Dodgers have assembled. So this is just the starting point. This is the big news. We'll have another show tomorrow. Probably gonna peace out and enjoy the night. Blake Snell coming to Los Angeles Dodgers. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're listening on the audio feed, I know it was a very impromptu episode and probably all over the place at times, but hopefully you got a little more knowledge and insight of Blake Snell coming to the Dodgers and what it means for this franchise. And for those watching on YouTube, make sure you've already hit that like button. If you're watching post live stream, leave us a comment below and tell me your reaction to Blake Snell coming to Los Angeles Dodgers. So we'll be back. So I'm not going to wish everyone a Thanksgiving because I think we got a show wrapped up. We got another show in the books tomorrow. So thank you guys.